Hey, what's up everybody? In today's video, I'm going to show you how I took this $200 conference table off of Marketplace and turned it into our brand new podcast table. All right, so I didn't think to start recording during the stripping process, but we got this table completely chemical stripped, sanded with 80, then 180. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to stain everything black. By staining it black, it's going to highlight all the grain, and you'll see what I mean here coming up. At one point, I even strongly considered just leaving it black and doing the high gloss full fill polished finish that we end up doing at the end of the video. But I wanted to do something different. I know y'all have seen me do a candy blue cabinet door if you've been following the channel long enough. I really like playing with our Renner dye stain colorants. These are the stains that are used for all of our spray stains. They're microlith pigments and they have fantastic coverage and, more important, clarity. So we're actually going to end up using a blue dye stain, and it is a really nice look on some of the figured woods. It gives it a lot of depth and just looks awesome. So this is after we got everything completely stained black. And now what we're going to need to do to give it the look that we're going for is actually sand it back off. So we used 180 grit to start sanding everything, all the black, not all of it off, but leaving that black in the grain is actually going to help us highlight and give it a lot of depth. So this is typically my first step whenever I'm using dye stains, is to try to get a solid color on the base, whether it be black, whether it be yellow, red, orange, just depending on what the end result's going to be. It's good to have a really nice heavy base coat on the bottom to accent the grain. And this is the blue dye stain being sprayed with the Apollo HVLP using a 1.0 needle and nozzle size. We want a really small, actually, I'm sorry, I used a 0.8, and we want to use the smallest needle and nozzle possible. I wasn't actually quite sure how it was going to come out with the gun. Typically, I'll just use the blue stain colorant straight and wipe it on, wipe it back off. But I wanted to go ahead and do it with the gun and just see the results we got. And honestly, I'm way happier with the look being sprayed out of the gun opposed to wiping it on and wiping it off. When we wipe it on and wipe it off, it tends to penetrate down a lot deeper, which is fine, but it'll take on more of a solid look in my experience. I wasn't exactly sure how dark I wanted to go with it, so I just kind of lightly built that color up, let it dry, a few minutes between coats. It's extremely hot in Texas right now, so the stains were drying really fast, and kind of settled here. I think there was about 3 coats that I did of the blue. After looking at it for a little bit, I wasn't quite sure I wanted to go with just blue, so I actually threw some of our black stain colorant in the same gun and went ahead and did like a burst effect, or a border, just kind of a fade of black on the edge, just to give it more character. And I'm actually really happy that I ended up doing that. Once I got the stain where I wanted it, I threw a couple coats of an Automotive 1K Intercoat Clear as a sealer, just to kind of lock it in so that I could come back and sand it, get it smoothed out for the next day when I was going to throw on the actual Automotive 2K Clear. So I kind of skipped a few steps there, but I went ahead and sanded it with 400, got it smoothed, got any dust nibs out, and then I'm actually using a 2-to-1 higher solid Automotive Glamour Clear, how most people will refer to it, and hammered on 2 heavy coats. Again, I kind of missed some steps, but I let that dry for 2 days actually, and then I came back with 800 and sanded it completely smooth, and hammered on another nice coat of the automotive clear. And that's what you're going to see here coming up, is after I did the flow coat and sanding and applied that really heavy coat, and it really got it to lay out real nice to where I'm going to have to do very, very minimal sanding, wet sanding and polishing, which I didn't. I went over it lightly with 2000 and then polished it with a Wizard heavy cut compound and a wool pad, and then went over it again with the foam pad. And this is the final result. It's going in our podcast room. So we've been doing podcasting on Spotify, the Fine Finish podcast. This season we're actually going to be recording everything so that y'all can watch on YouTube. Appreciate y'all watching as always, and reach out if you need anything. Later.